Welcome back to Charlie Talks Global, where today we're diving into the vibrant cultures that make our world so fascinating.
Okay, let's just dive right in. We're hearing about this plan, Elon Musk's latest big ambition, deploying 50 million H100 AI GPUs. And we're talking within 5 years. I mean, that number 50 million, it almost sounds unreal. For anyone who may be less familiar with these H100s, they're NVIDIA's absolute top tier chips, right? Built specifically for heavy duty AI, real powerhouses. So our mission today is to really get into this colossal project. We want to explore the sources, understand the frankly mind-boggling investment, the tech involved, and what it all really means for AI's future. I'm still sort of struggling to get my head around the scale here. The number being thrown around is a $2 trillion investment for 50 million GPUs. Can you help us put that $2 trillion figure into some kind of perspective? Because
it really is staggering. Okay, so let's break it down. If you figure each H100 costs, say, around $20,000, well, 50 million of those, just the chips alone, that hits $1 trillion, straight up. But here's the thing. Building a cutting-edge supercomputing cluster, the GPUs themselves are often only about half the total cost. So you effectively double that 1 trillion. That's how you land at the $2 trillion estimate.
2 trillion, okay.
And to grasp that magnitude, think about this. It's more than double the entire U.S. military's annual spending, which is, around $997 billion? And maybe even more telling, it surpasses the entire combined valuation of Musk's companies, which is roughly $1.6 trillion.
So this isn't just a big bet.
Oh, it's way beyond that. It's truly an all-in move. You could say it risks not just, personal wealth, but potentially the whole empire he's built. What's really interesting, though, is the strategy behind it. It seems to be about gaining this proprietary edge in training the really big foundational AI models. It could genuinely reshape the whole AI landscape.
Okay, so given that astronomical cost, that colossal risk, what's the end game here? What does Musk actually plan to do with all that computing power? And I guess, what does this imply about who can even play in this AI development space anymore?
Well, if you connect the dots, it really looks like a play for securing an absolutely unmatched lead in AI development. This huge computational power, it's earmarked for training extremely advanced models across his companies, right? We're talking xAI, Tesla, Neuralink, probably SpaceX too. Look at Grok, for example. Its evolution has been incredibly fast. Grok 2 trained on something like 15,000 GPUs. Then Grok 3 used 200,000 H100s. That was in the cluster known as Colossus 1, which, by the way, they deployed in just 19 days. Incredible speed.
19 days for 200,000 GPUs.
Yeah, exactly. And now the word is Grok 4 is basically sweeping the boards in performance tests, even surpassing human PhDs in certain areas. And looking forward, xAI isn't stopping. They've got coding models, multimodal models, video generation stuff planned, plus services like their AI chatbot, Augie. All of that demands this continuous, massive expansion of compute power. It's about staying ahead.
This really sounds less like tweaking software and more like, well, a massive global construction project almost. How do you even start building something like this? How's he actually planning to make it real?
It's the infrastructure ambition that's really fascinating here. So remember Colossus 1, 200,000 H100s, 19 days. Well, Colossus 2 is already being built. The plan is for it to be the, quote, world's first petaflop plus AI training supercomputer.
Petaflop plus. Just unpack that for a second.
Right, so a petaflop is a measure of computing speed. It means 1 quadrillion, that's 1,000 trillion calculations per second. Just immense processing capability. And this new cluster, Colossus 2, it's slated to use 550,000 of NVIDIA's newer chips, the GB200s and GB300s. That's the Grace Blackwell architecture. It's a big leap from the H100s, integrates the CPU and GPU more tightly for, better efficiency. It'll need liquid cooling, obviously. And it's going into this huge 1 million square foot facility down in Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay, 1 million square feet. And the power. You mentioned power earlier.
Yes, the power. They're planning 208 Tesla megapacks for battery storage. But the truly wild part, there are plans, apparently, to essentially migrate an entire power plant just to supply the energy this thing needs.
Migrate a power plant. Okay, that brings us squarely to the biggest challenge, doesn't it? The electricity.
Yeah.
How on earth do you power something on that scale?
You've hit the nail on the head. The energy demands are just enormous. For this initial 50 million GPU target, we're talking power needs equivalent to maybe a dozen nuclear power plants. And remember, Musk's ultimate goal is apparently even bigger, potentially billions of these H100 equivalent shifts down the line. It just completely underscores the sheer resource intensity. Pushing AI this far requires fundamental changes, maybe even rethinking global infrastructure.
So let's try and bring this together as we wrap up this deep dive. We've looked at an investment that's, well, truly monumental. It's driven by this vision for AI that requires compute power on an almost astronomical scale. This isn't just building a bigger data center. It feels like something else entirely. An unprecedented push for AI dominance.
Exactly. It's a massive strategic gamble, absolutely pushing the limits of technology, scale, infrastructure. It really marks a huge leap in what people even thought was possible for training and deploying AI.
So for you, the listener, here's something to think about. If AI development really does become this kind of compute arms race fought on this incredible scale, what does that actually mean? Not just for the tech itself, but for who gets to innovate, who ultimately controls the future of intelligence. And, what does it mean for the global power dynamics that are surely going to shift as a result? Something to definitely keep an eye on.